Right, so the plan is you're gonna go outside the front door and pretend you're delivering the parcel.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so you're gonna act as the delivery person. Yeah, like the delivery person. Right, so my M4 MacBook Pro is about to be delivered. I've waited hours for this delivery. You know when you get a delivery, you wake up early, you're all excited. I have been on the app tracking the delivery driver since this morning, and it looks like the delivery driver is almost here. Oh no, the delivery driver is here.
Hello?
Yeah, so ring the bell now, ring the bell, ring the bell. Okay. Oh! 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 Come on! Come on! Hello? Thank you! Oh! Sorry about the dog. Come on, thank you! Thank you! Wow, this is heavy! Do you want to come in? Do you want to come in?
Yes, please.
Okay, straight through. Hello. Oh my God. Oh, shit. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Yeah, I think it's safer we do this in here. That did not go to plan. That did not go to plan. Oh my God, it's all, yeah. I need to search for a new plant. I need to get a new plant. But for now, forget about the plant. Oh my God, look at it. Look at it. Oh, oh, look at it glistening. Oh, ah. Look at this. Right, shall we do it?
Don't forget to breathe. Breathe. 'Cause every poison word that's on your breath makes me hate the smell of cigarettes.
I finally figured out what M stands for. Magic. Right, let me set the scene for you. I got the 14-inch space black M4 chip MacBook Pro, and I kind of got the base model. When I say kind of, because it basically kind of is, apart from the storage, which is 1 terabyte. So let me give you a roundup of what has happened with me using the MacBook Pro every single day for the last 2 weeks, starting with the thing that has probably blown my head off blown my mind the most, and that is the battery. Apple claims up to 24 hours of battery life, and on their website under the battery segment it says we can do this all day and night. So I put that to the test and tried to see how many times I could watch Wicked before the battery ran out. And just in case you're not familiar with the running time of the Wicked movie, it is 2 hours 40 minutes. And for this test, I turned the keyboard lights off on the MacBook Pro and I set the screen brightness to level 10. So the max is 16, I put it to 10 because I found 10 was the sweet spot. So if I was actually sitting there watching it on loop for hours and hours and hours, that's what I comfortably would want it at, to be able to see all the colors and the magic and the action happening. So yeah, it wasn't set to the the max, but it was set to 10. So how many times do you think I could sing Defying Gravity? Well, listen to this, because this is gonna blow your mind. So I started the test at 9:30 p.m. with the battery at 100%. I left the room, I left it playing, and then I came back 1 hour, 15 minutes later to check on things, expecting the battery to maybe have dropped, I don't know, to 90 something. No, the battery was still at 100% 1 hour, 15 minutes into the film. I then went to bed, left Wicked playing on loop, and when I woke up at 7 a.m. and checked it, 8 hours later, the battery percent had dropped to 64%. I then went out for the day, and my mum was keeping a beady eye on the laptop, and she messaged me at 5:15 p.m. to tell me that the battery was now at 14%. This is 19 hours, 45 minutes after the test started. I arrived home roughly 45 minutes later after receiving that message, and finally the 10% warning message appeared on the screen, which is now 20.5 hours after the test began. And I sat there and I waited as it dropped from 3 to 2 to 1%, and finally at 7:51 p.m, darkness. The screen turned off, the battery had completely drained, which means that it had been playing Wicked on loop for 22 hours and 21 minutes. I'm not the best with maths, but I've tried to do the sums, and if I am correct, that basically means you can watch Wicked on loop 9 times. 9 times? 9 times you can sing Defying Gravity before the battery runs. I'm sorry, I'm just mind blown. I couldn't believe it. I just still can't believe it. And just to put that in a little bit more perspective, I think that's the word, perspective. You can fly from London to Orlando, quickly go to Universal Studios to the Wicked pop-up little thing, maybe stop in Disney if you're really, really quick, fly back from Orlando to London, all whilst Wicked is playing on loop and the battery wouldn't run out. My old MacBook Pro wouldn't have even been able to last past takeoff before the battery ran out. And obviously when you start doing more heavier tasks like editing and all of that, the battery does drain a lot quicker, but I was still able to get a good few hours over a couple of days of heavy usage before I felt the need to plug it in, because yeah, it would just switch off if I didn't. The biggest drop in battery I noticed was when I was doing video exports, which is obviously to be expected because it's a much heavier task. So for example, when I was exporting a 12-minute video, the battery started the export at 87%, and by the end of the export it had dropped to 74%, which is a drop of 13%. And by the way, the screen brightness was still at level 10. As soon as you whack it to the max, the battery does drain a lot quicker. But I would confidently say this: if you have the keyboard lights off and the screen brightness set to level 10 or lower, and you had the battery at 100% at the beginning of the week, and you were doing light tasks like browsing, watching videos like Wicked, listening to audio like the Wicked soundtrack across the week, and maybe even some light editing, you could easily get from the start of the week to the end of the week without plugging it in. So apart from the battery being wicked and Wicked being wicked, what else is wicked? iPhone mirroring. Let's talk about iPhone mirroring. And hold on a minute, what an amazing little feature this is. It's literally like having your iPhone on the screen. I mean, well, it is. Your iPhone is literally on the screen, and everything is instant. Like, there's no lag. Even when you're transferring files from your Mac to your iPhone or iPhone to your Mac, it's literally instant. And what was funny was the other day I had my Mac in front of me, I was doing some editing, and messages were coming through on my iPhone, which were obviously appearing on the MacBook screen, and I could have easily picked up my iPhone and replied to the messages through my phone, but I didn't. I replied to them on my MacBook because it was just a more funner way. Yeah, it was funner. It was a more funner way of doing it. Apart from all the normal bits and pieces that, you know, everyone does on a laptop, browsing and all that stuff, for me, I use my Mac mostly for video editing inside Premiere Pro. And let me tell you this, the experience editing in Premiere Pro has been everything is instant. When I add transitions, when I add graphics, everything is instant. And you know what the best bit is? I can set the preview resolution to full. I couldn't even get past a quarter on my old MacBook. And I've only heard the fans kick in when Premiere Pro is open when I'm exporting the video. When I'm just doing editing and it's just open, no, absolutely nothing. Whereas again on my old Mac, mate, Premiere Pro would be open, 20 minutes into it being open, the fans are kicking in, you're having to close the program, restart the laptop. It's just a complete madness. Whereas on this one, everything is a breeze. It is instant. And talking of exporting a video, one of my recent videos, which was about 12 minutes long, took 13 minutes to export on my M4 Mac versus 33 minutes to export on my old Mac. And I know I keep going on about my old Mac, so I will put the specs on the screen now for you to see, but I haven't upgraded my Mac for like 4 years. So for me, you can understand how and why I'm so excited. But yeah, 13 minutes versus 33 minutes, absolutely bravo. And you know when something works so well, it just makes you want to keep using it non-stop. And in this case, inspires me to want to keep making more and more videos because the process is so much more smoother. Like let's take, for example, you had the best smoothie maker or the best ice cream maker in the world. You would wake up in the morning and you would rush to the smoothie maker and rush to the ice cream maker and you'd be like, I cannot wait to make the best smoothie and the best ice cream in the world. For me, I'm like, I cannot wait to make the next video because now the editing process is so much better. One of the things I was going back and forth with, back and forth, is it back and forth or back and forward, up and down, left and right, was do I go with the M4 chip or M4 Pro chip? M4 Pro chip. No, M4 Pro chip. I knew I didn't need the Max chip, but in all the iPhone models I've had over recent years have been the Pro model, and it's easy to be sucked into the Pro name, and I was like, do I need the Pro? So I was going round in circles for ages, and I went on Apple's website and they've got a section that says like what to consider when choosing your Mac, and under M4 chip it says things about 4K video and all of that, and under the M4 Pro chip it says stuff about 8K video and coding and all that, and I was like, nah, I don't think I need the M4 Pro chip. No, I don't need the chip, and I didn't need the chip. So I settled on the M4 chip, which, you know what, I have absolutely no regrets because it saved me money and it's working absolutely perfectly fine. One thing I was a little bit when I first turned the M4 Mac on was the camera notch. I was a bit like, oh, this is not the best, because you know what, I'm not used to seeing the notch, because like on my old Mac on 16-inch, like I didn't have any notch to look at, but now I do. But you know what, after a few hours I didn't even notice it was there. But I still can't understand why in 2025 we don't have Face ID on the MacBooks, but we are where we are. But I can't complain about anything to do with the camera on the M4 Mac, because you know what I'm about to say. The camera on my old MacBook, absolutely unusable, and I've come to the conclusion that the reversing camera on my car is better quality than the camera on my old MacBook. So yeah, any upgrade to the camera is a bonus for me. And you know, I had to bring the M4 Mac with me to do a little cheeky vlog. Look at this, we are vlogging right now on the M4 MacBook. We've got a little visitor over there. We've got a boat over there. Look at this, we're out and about on location vlogging with the M4 Mac. Who would have thought? This is absolutely ridiculously, crazily weird, but we're out here. Woo! Yeah, I think we'll end the vlog here. Now, obviously getting the space black version, it does attract fingerprints more than, let's say, the silver version, but I'm not going to complain about it because I knew that would be the case before I got it. What I would say is I haven't noticed as many fingerprints as I thought I would notice, but it's just something to keep in mind when choosing the colors, that, yeah, obviously you're going to see more dust and fingerprints on a darker version, that being the space black. The speakers are really good, but one thing, and the only thing I'm gonna have to give to my old Mac, is I think the speakers on my old Mac take the win slightly, and that's mainly to do with the bass. I don't feel like the bass is as heavy on the M4 Mac as it is on my old Mac, and I'm a bassy boy. I love the bass. There is bass there, it's not a complete trebly mess, but if I'm comparing them back to back, in my opinion, yeah, I don't think it's as much bass as I've been used to over the last 4 years, but the speakers are really, really good. Nevertheless, they're really loud, nothing wrong with them. It's just lacking a little bit of bass. And coming from the 16-inch down to the 14-inch was quite an adjustment for the first couple of days. Everything on the screen looked a little bit squashed and crammed in and all of that, especially in Premiere Pro. I was like, right, I need to adjust the workspace because the timeline was like this small. But yeah, after a few days, your eyes then adjust to it. But you know what? I have no regrets scaling down to the 14-inch because the 16-inch was just a little bit too bulky, especially when I'm traveling and I'm on a plane or whatever. It was just, I never used to really take it out on a plane for that reason because it was just too big. But now I've got the 14-inch, I can take it out on the plane and watch Wicked on repeat. And of course, edit videos. I basically upgrade my iPhone every year, and when I get the new iPhone, I'm like, oh, this is basically kind of the same as my old iPhone, apart from the fact that they've added this stupid, ridiculous, annoying button. But having waited about 4 years to upgrade my MacBook, mate, I can feel the upgrade more than ever. So the moral of the story is, if you don't upgrade every year, when you do upgrade after a few years, you're going to feel the upgrade even more. And obviously I can't really comment on whether the upgrade from M1, M2, M3 to M4 is a good upgrade because I haven't had any of those versions. I had the old 2019 MacBook Pro, but I can only assume if you've had or got the M2, M3 and maybe M1 that the jump to M4 isn't going to be felt as much, kind of like the whole upgrading your iPhone every year. Like I just said, you don't feel it that much, but one thing I can comment on is if you do have an older MacBook Pro like me, the 2019 version or older, you are definitely, oh definitely gonna feel the upgrade. So as you can see, as you can hear, as you can tell, I'm a very, very happy bunny. In fact, I'm not a bunny, I'm a happy munchkin. I'm a happy munchkin from Munchkin Land. If you know, you know. And you know what, I don't actually have any bad to say. I'm not just gonna say stuff just to say it. It's just all been great and all been so smooth. And like I just said, I can't comment on whether the jump from M1, M2, M3 to M4 is a good jump, but what I can say is if you have got an older Mac like I had and you're thinking of jumping to the M4, do it. Don't question it, do it. Because everything so far has been wicked. Tell them how I am defying. Oh no.